People, Deluded, I'm back again. Good morning, and I hope you're all doing well and safe. Now, I'm not here to speak about football. I know I offer a ridiculous amount of thoughts on football, and apologies for my voice, people. For those of you who want to know why my voice sounds a bit weird, I can't lie, my Sunday league team, AFC Edmonton, we had a cup game, people, and in true cup fashion, it was full of drama. Move this receipt. It was full of drama, it was full of dramatics, it was full of everything, you know. We went 1-0 up, we failed to take advantage. I'm not going to lie, I hold my hands up, I conceded a pen. It was a bit ignorant from me and a bit complacent. I know you shouldn't dive in the box, I'm an experienced fullback, but see me, people, 9 times out of 10, the slide tackle I made, I always win the ball, you know, and it was a bit of complacency in that regards from me. I thought I was going to win it again and again. You know, the one time you don't, it's a penalty, I hold my hands up. But, you know, to win 2-1, to score the winner 5 minutes from time, you know, Captain Fantastic, Black Sergio Ramos, you know, elite mentality. I held my hands up at the time, but we go again. So my voice is a bit messed because it was absolute scenes during the match, after it, you know, before it. It's what I live for, but my voice is gone. But a lot of you have been on to me about deluded thoughts. Like, it's a bit weird. I'm always surprised when you lot take towards content like this, or take towards content that the analytics doesn't necessarily say is well viewed. But I like to do it because it offers me therapy, you know. It allows me to speak out loud, if nothing more than just speaking to myself. There's been times I've done this where the topic's been a bit more serious, or, you know, I've been in a bit worse of a state as a person, and, you know, a lot of people, whether they're younger than me, same age, for me in particular, people that are, you know, way older than me, you know, the positive words, the relatability, the fact to know that it's not just me, people have been through this, people be through it after me. It was nice to know. And a lot of you have been on to me, and to be fair, I haven't done this in a while purely because I haven't had nothing to say, people. Like, there's not been any thoughts, but I would say, I would, how would I make this one? I'd say it's about, listen, it's all about me, people, innit? Like, you know, how do I make this make sense? You know, like, people's viewerships can change. There's people that probably didn't like my content, checking my content, can't get enough, vice versa. You know, people switch every day, you know, and I always have that, and it makes me a bit paranoid in the sense that I like to see the love, I like to repay the love and whatnot, but it's very difficult to trust people or trust supporters or whatnot, because you don't, like, it's a fickle game, isn't it? It's like 1 minute they fuck with you, then they won't. It's like I'm the only one that's committed to my cause at all times, do you get? So it's a bit difficult. But I'm not gonna lie, it does, and I'm a sort of person, I believe in myself. I'm very pessimistic about factors around me, you know, and factors and these things, but I'm very optimistic. People call me pessimistic. I'm pessimistic about everything around me, in my own abilities, in myself, in my abilities to work things out. I'm optimistic as fuck, people, pardon my language. So I always believe in myself, you know, even when it gets tough, even when, you know, you're fighting against it, you're thinking, oh, Jesus, been doing YouTube for 4 years, what's going on here? Keep going. But I'm not gonna lie, over the last couple of weeks in particular, I mean, I've always been feeling the love, but it slaps different when people believe in you. I'm not gonna lie to a lot of people. Like, the GoFundMe stuff, to, like, you know, the finances is one thing, and what I can do with those finances can allow me to better my product, but it's the messages being left, you know. I'm seeing people like, oh, DG, it's the least I could do, give you this little 5 or 10 or whatever, because when I was going through times, a lot of messages you were saying resonated with me. A lot of people talking about personal illness, family illness, and it's helped them get through it. Even had a couple people, I'm not going to lie, in my close circle, and people I don't know say, listen, when I was in jail, I used to watch your stuff, you know, with a phone I wasn't supposed to, and it let me think there's more to life, there's something on the outside. So, you know, it's the least I could do, give you encouragement. Even people that weren't necessarily offering finances, they were like trying to spread the word, or, you know, saying nice little motivational messages, you know. Like, I can't, how do I make it make sense? I can't rely on support in it, because if you, it's like football players, if you just rely on the fan support, they're going to turn on you one day. It's not going to happen. You need to be able to do it yourself, sort of thing. But it slaps differently. Like, like I said, I've always been confident. I know there's people out there that support me, you know, there's always people that got my best interest, but over the last month in particular, last few weeks, it's really been a spring in my step. It's really been, you know, allowed me to push up my chest a bit higher as I, you know, obviously I've quit my role. I'm trying to make something of myself within football. I can't go another day without, I can't lie to you. I know in my life there's going to be days I have to do things I don't like, but, you know, I need to chase what sets my world on fire, you know, what ignites my belly, what fuels me with ambition, what arouses my imagination, and I don't feel my last job gave me that. I was around some cool people, I was doing some decent work, but it didn't ignite me. And I think over the last 18 months, I've just been shutting up that voice inside of me, that burning desire. I've just been shutting it up. And the more you shut up that voice, that I've learned, the bigger it gets, because it gets mad. Until in the last, like, I made my decision to quit months before I actually quit in it. Like, throughout the whole year, it was a challenging year, people, for me. Challenging 18 months in particular, because I said, when I come into this role, production assistant, you know, I do think there's more to me than just that. I do think I could do more. I said, you know what, this next year, and it turned out to be 18 months, I'm going to put my pride to the side, because all this, you know, previous mentality that I'm coming into things, I'm getting somewhere, but, you know, it's my ego blocking my blessings, you know. Over the last 18 months, I said, you know what, I've always done it my way. Let me do it the next way, and then, you know, when I get the results of the next way, if I can concede that that was the wrong thing to do, then fair play. But, you know, I do things both ways. I do my way, then I'll do another way, and if I don't like it, I'll do my way. And that was how it was, you know, over the last year. I'm not gonna lie, it's helped me on the grand scheme of things. It's challenged me. Like, my role challenged me extremely mentally, people. I'm not gonna sit here and cap to you lot, you know. I'm not even talking about the typical, you know, I had to balance time, you know. I start at 9 o'clock. I have to obviously get trains and stuff. I have to leave my house probably 7:45 sort of thing. So that's waking up at 5:45, 5 o'clock, you know, making sure I get that. Sometimes, people, I have to do the Q&A. Arsenal will be playing on the weekend, so there's a preview, there's a Q&A, you know, I started doing a podcast, there's a little podcast, and other talking points. I have to make sure I smash out all of those things before I leave my house. Then, obviously, through the journey, I'll do a little editing thing. When I'm at work, you know, I upload it on the slide. When I'm supposed to be doing work, plug in the memory card, you know, upload it. My lunch break, you lot saw on a regular basis, dedicated my lunch break to bringing out videos. That's when I realised, you know, I realised, you know, you got to work with what you have in it. Like, man's not Sky Sports. You know, as I'm getting bigger and as I'm getting better, I'm sure if some of you that have seen me in my early days, there's been a little bit of progress, you know. Development as a person, as me, the way I speak is probably different. I might be a bit more confident, if that. I don't believe so, but if that. And other changes. Obviously, the technical side. But I realise you have to start, you know. I think too many people cop-block themselves before they've... cop-block themselves on the route to greatness, because they think to themselves, I need this, I need that. Look at Harry Pinero. He started literally with a decent camera and a mic, and, you know, he's doing things with ballers and that, and there's many other examples of that. You know, you need to just... What I've realised is, you know, you can't blame the tools. Obviously, tools can only take you so far. You need stuff to upgrade, but there is something to be said. Can you use your basic tools to the maximum? Like, I remember, like, my bulk of my subscribers came off this, people. Well, not this one, but this one. And more time... Early days, you know, I wasn't even using my phone. I was using my brethren's phone, because my phone was banged, people, and I couldn't fix it. I couldn't even... It's one of them, you could put headphones in and listen, but the speakers weren't banging. So obviously when I'm recording, it's a myth. So you've got to use what you have. But back to what I was saying about pride, yeah. The last 18 months I said, you know what, yeah, you can't beat them, join them thing. This whole way I'm coming into it, like, I ain't got the most contacts. The way I'm coming into it might be different. You know, you need to put yourselves in areas. So when I got this content assistant role, production assistant role, initially it was working with a company called Ocho, was doing a lot of football content. It got flipped on its head. But long story short, throughout the 18 months, the positives, you know, I've been on sets, you know, I've been in YouTube space. That was an L as well for me, because in the YouTube space there was a couple of content creators I could have collabed with. And I lost some context. Like, do you know the guy from Snowfall, Damon Idris? You know, I got his email. He's a cool brother. He said hit him up, but I lost the phone. Like, well, the phone's dead. Like, it's broken, and I can't get it out of there. And I've tried to hit him up on the DMs. It won't happen. But it's an L in it. So I've been a lot, like, just on that, yeah, that whole YouTube, it was a YouTube event specifically for black creators, in it, like, to celebrate Black History Month. A year from now, you know, I saw Amuru TV, you know, Levy, you know, some great content creators that I'm good friends with. You know, Robbie was there, you know, Nella, I didn't speak to Nella Rose, but Nella Rose was there. You lot know she's a pioneer for this YouTube thing, especially with black women. Many people of that level, similar level. Funny story, you know, this is when I found out things are weird. Not to throw shade, I'm not getting onto a man, but just to tell you how life is. It's no bitter feelings, you know. I'm speaking to the guy from Snowfall, and he's got all the time in the world for me, dashing out his thing. I'm shouting chicken connoisseur, like, I'm talking to him. I'm like, oh, what? Come on, grab your number. Not a funny thing, but come on, grab your number. Let's do some content. He's there like, he's acting, innit? Like, I get it. He's acting. So I'm one of them. My thing is this, innit? Like, this is one thing I don't give away from. Man's not with this. Obviously, you have to stroke egos. You have to be sensible. But man's not with. I'm not with this. You know, you're not gonna, I don't let people feel, I don't feel I'm better than anyone, so no one's gonna feel they're better than me. So when I feel the energy's a certain sort of way, I moved off. Like with Chicken, he started like, oh, I swear to you, God as my witness. As soon as you went, oh, I walked off, like, alright, cool. I don't need to convince you. Man, don't talk to me about hitting them up on Twitter and them thing there. Like, you're not anybody like that. Like, you're bigger than man, but you know, I'm seeing literally Hollywood thing guys there, like Hollywood, you know, prominent British actors, you know, bigger YouTubers than my man, and it just, you know, life's funny, and it led to me, you know, it is what it is. This is the mud. You know, when people ignore me or people air me, you know, it's all love. Like, there's a lot of content creators, you lot always shout, oh, why are you on the show with him? Oh, this and that, holler him. These lot are not my guys, people. Like, they're not my guys. That's the way I look at it. I never grew up with none of them. They're not my guys, you know. I can only ask someone how many times do you want to collab, or like what I found weird is these bigger YouTubers, they're coming out unprovoked and saying let's collab, and they'll hit me up and things and then act. But this is the game, you know. I remember Stormzy talking about it. Like, I can't remember the whole context, but Stormzy was chatting to someone, you know, on a panel, and he was like, I remember when you used to air me, but it's all love. That's why when they act up, I'm like, it's all love. Like, even people you see me make regular content with, it can be quite time consuming, quite annoying having to not chase but make sure it's patterned. That's why I prefer to move by myself. I'm all for content. I like to content, you know, you see me with rants and that, but I find it easier. Back to the pride thing, I was going off topic. Like I said, I threw my pride to the side. I thought, you know what, for this next year, we dash my pride to the side. Whatever happens, happens, innit? I might learn. And through this, I've been put in some good places. Like I said, YouTube space. Even how I met True Geordie and Hugh Wizzy and Lawrence McKenna and all of them people, they're all effing nice guys, man. They're all very nice guys. Like True Geordie, I thought True Geordie, you know, coming into it, I've always rated True Geordie stuff, but I would have thought, you know, he would have had an ego, you know, it's True Geordie, you know, the YouTube thing is this. Bro, people, I'm not gonna lie, no, I'm not just saying this, like, he's a very cool brother, like, very cool, but I was shocked by the cool brother. Like, part of my role as production assistant in my old role, people, before True Geordie's brand and the company I worked for, who he's good friends of the people, kind of went ways. I used to my work kind of used to interrupt. I was a content assistant. So you see all the Opta stats, you know, we used to get sent Opta stats. I would make little previews of what to expect, you know. I would book the cleaners because the venue that they do the kickoff in, at the time, you know, we had cleaners. I'd make sure cleaners booked, you know, I'd make sure food and drinks been located and brought in there. I'd do a run, I'd be a sort of runner on the kickoff days, or about to say match days, you know. I'll do all the logistical work, you know, as well as what you'd see me on the camera. Like, I'm sure a lot of you occasionally saw me pass like a drink or whatever, these sort of things. If I didn't swallow my pride, it would have thingy. And even then, that was a mad test of egos. Like, don't get wrong, no one was rude to me and whatnot, but like, I'm not great camera guy, I'm not anything. So on the actual day, apart from the admin, there isn't much to do. So I'd make sure stock is still there, you know. I'd ask, you know, oh yeah, I used to book like plane tickets for guests and stuff like that. You know, I'd make sure the guests and the man them that are on it felt good, you know, like, you need anything, boom, boom, boom. You know, more time, order delivery, you know, I'm at the door anyways, I'm sat next to the door, just open the door and pass it to people. That was a test of my ego as well, because like, I'm not being funny, like, love to True Jordan and I'm not doing it, but it's like, for me it was difficult because literally, like, you lot can see in it. Say this is the room where Lawrence, Brian, True Geordie, Hugh Wizzy, Rory, who I knew before that as well, all these guys, they all sat there, yeah, talking about footy. And you know, you'd have mad guests, Clinton Morrison actually got my motivational levels up. He said he knows my stuff, he recognised me and whatnot. That day gassed me, innit, people. But you'd have a bunch of, like, you know, everybody be in this room. And then there's just me, fam. Like, I'm watching it on the TV. Like, there's a TV that you can see next door. I'm watching it on the TV. I'm with all the tech guys. I'm just thinking, like, I'm just there. I'm like, rah, like, that should be man. Like, man should be on that, you know. Like, bro, like, I'm seeing people with, like, you know what deep it as well is, like, what made me realise you have to work twice as hard than some folk. I'm seeing people with less subscribers than me, less of a brand, but somehow they've managed to finesse their way into this, and that made me think, I need to learn the game. Why is it that my come up has been this way and his come up has been that way? Do you get it? But being in that environment, I wouldn't even regret it, you know. Because I got to meet people, I got to be around people, I got to do content. I'm not gonna lie, on the shady thing as well. I was making sure, oh, yo, what's your name? What gone? Boom, 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 making sure I got the contacts and whatnot. Like, even if you get it, you know. I saw him bop you. I was like, what gone? Let me grab them. Boom, boom, like, let's get this done. Like, that's the sort of stuff I was on. So I'd say from that it was a benefit. With the others, it was pride eating, you know. Obviously, you know, going Sainsbury's and that unnecessarily Arsenal's on. I'm here trying to get Sainsbury's for them, and it's knocking my ego, people. Sometimes it's do you know the one time we went to do a shoot away from Deluded because I was a production assistant, like I said. We went to Southampton now. I've gone to the CAF. People, I'm in Southampton. It's only a walking thing. I don't know how, like, it's a long walk as well. Anyone that's been Southampton from the town to whatever. It's raining. I'm holding coffees in my hand. On my life, people, if that was me a few years ago, I'd have dashed the coffee away. I would have just taken up my stuff and gone back to my yard saying, F this. But I went with it. But that's when I decided to quit as well. Mentally inside, like, I remember in the office, don't want to say the manager's name because they're all cool, but there was a meeting and he asked me to make a coffee. Which is the way it asked was calm. I did it, but it made me think in my head. I'm not gonna lie, people. Sound like a bad guy. I'm not gonna lie. I went into the thing now, and I saw the date of milk out of date. Like it's yesterday. So I'm thinking, boy, I ain't going shopping in the rain for my man. Like, boy, you have to do this thing. I apologize, but I don't even like you like that. Boom, done that now. And I thought, let me quit. I'm not learning anything here. Because like I said, being around people, being in the situations, and that's why you've got to ask yourself at jobs, what are you gaining from? Like I always used to say in my head, I owe these people nothing. Because jobs will keep you sweet. They will, you know, occasionally, you know, give you confidence. You know, they'll sweeten you up with maybe free gifts and whatnot. But fundamentally, never forget that you're there to help them build their dreams. You get? And that's one thing I felt baffling, because our owners of the company were cool people. They were calm people. But they would say little things like, oh, no one can book off September. But then they'd go on holiday in September. Or they'll say this, and obviously they're the bosses, you know. That's one luxury. From taking the risk and building a company, you are allowed luxuries like that. But I found it hard to sort of comprehend. I'm like, you lot can do what you want, but I can't. And it's like, I don't even believe in you lot's dream like that. And it tested me. Like, this whole journey's tested me. Like, I've been doing mad stuff, you know. I've had to carry bags of football from not Canning Town, Beckton on the train, all the way up to Central, you know, walking from Beckton to some mad places in East London. I've flown around all Central London trying to get a certain colour ribbon and a certain sort of length. You know, flown around all sorts of South American shops in Central London trying to get a certain brand of coffee. Mad stuff, people, mad stuff. And like, it was one of them, I was just a dog's body more time. Like, I got to do a lot of stuff, creative stuff, especially towards the end. And as I kind of got vexed and sort of signed myself and shown people that, listen, this has to cut out, man, need to do everything sort of thing. And like, my role was starting to change, and arguably just as I quit, it was turning into the role I wanted, but I didn't feel I was gaining anything. I felt at one, like I said, inside I'm silencing that thought to jump and do things. I feel I'm being pressed for time. You know, even the owners of the company, like, I'm having disciplinary meetings. They're like, you know, the deluded thing, I'm seeing all these videos, and then they're not. At a point, you lot wouldn't even see it. Have you noticed there was a point towards like the last few months, I wasn't bringing out videos in the morning, because my team was under surveillance, people. They're like, oh, well, you're doing this, you're doing that. I'm trying to tell them, listen, I stuck it on them, people, and so I was like, listen, I'm DG from 6:30 beyond, from 9 o'clock to 6:30. You get me. I'm not, obviously I was doing videos full time, doing what I was meant to be working and things. But I'm like, listen, they're like, and then that made me realise it's like, man, I need to grab stuff out of life that I'm built for. Like, I feel with the grounding I have, I can kind of not get there, but sort of make press further in that. And I feel that's what I need to do now. I feel obviously leaving the luxury of a paycheck, a consistent paycheck. Yeah, YouTube money brings in AdSense. You can see how much everybody earns on Social Blade, and I challenge anyone to tell me that that is full-time wages. But it's something, you know. I've made sure I've saved a pot of money around to keep me afloat. You know, I've got emergency savings. You lot help me with the GoFundMe as well for the lappies and them thing there. So obviously that's the only scary thing. It's like, you know, 30th of each month, I'm not, with the exception of YouTube, I'm not seeing a paycheck, so I have to make it work. And YouTube, some months are better than others. It's not a consistent sort of thing. But I feel it needed to happen. I feel the longer I silenced that voice, I feel the longer I made excuses, whether it was giving up a consistent paycheck and not saving for months, which I did, because like I said, I didn't quit straight away. I quit mentally ages ago, and stuff like that. I feel I needed to do it to grow. I didn't think I was growing. I felt if I was growing, I'm growing into something you lot want. I'm not growing into what I want. And, you know, I'm not gaining the hard skills and hard qualifications I feel I can. You know, they would tell me everything under the sun. We'll put you on this course, we'll do that, we'll do this. and it never happened. And that's one thing that used to annoy me about the owner of the company, because he'd say a lot of things unprovoked. Oh, we'll do this for your Deluded thing, we'll help you with the merch, because it's content creation, so it kind of being there kind of helped. I did learn a lot. Like, my research skills are better, you know. I asked myself better questions to find better answers. I did learn a lot. I learned what the fuck I don't want to do as well. I learned how to manage people. I learned being on set. I learned, you know, I'm not perfect, but I learned a little bits and pieces about camera lighting and why this should be there and that should be there. And, you know, I learned a lot. I can't cap. There was a lot to learn, people. There was a lot to learn, but it weren't making me into what I wanted to be and who I wanted to be. And I just feel it's down to me. I feel I've swallowed my pride for 18 months. I have no problem putting my pride to the side, you know. It killed me mentally to set up a GoFundMe. It killed me mentally to come and start Deluded Thoughts. It killed me mentally to you know, do the running stuff on True Geordie's thing, because Arsenal is playing. I'm spent here going Sainsbury's and them things there, away from all the other stuff. Like, it killed me. It really tested me. You can ask my mother, you can ask the person, you can ask my girl, you can ask the man them. Like, it genuinely used to kill me. Like, my friends, like, we got dark humour. Our humour is therapy. They used to ban me about it. Like, you're not getting sent out anymore. And like, I used to, it was banter, and it came from a place, but it made me think, damn, man, I can't do this no more. Like, man's got the talent to be either on this thing or elsewhere, you know. And I feel with my owner of the company, he was nice to me. He liked my content, even Boss Man Ray and Neff when I left. But fundamentally, it just came that, and it's cool. It's like, you don't care about my dream, you don't care about me, you care what I'm doing. And I just feel I'm not growing into what I want to grow into, and I feel that's what I want to pursue. I feel obviously it's not going to happen overnight, but I feel I'd rather be more happy and more content giving my all into this and saying it's not worked, and then that, you know, because the stars are starting to align. I feel with the support you lot have given me, I've got a new spring in my step, you know. I feel with the contacts I'm making, and I might not be the most viewed content creator or whatever, but it's the people that's viewing me. Like, I don't want to talk too tough, but, you know, people within a professional football environment are taking in my stuff, are saying positive words, or handing opportunities here and there to me that due to Corona have been messed up. Like, I was meant to go to a training ground, people. I won't elaborate. It's not Arsenal, but it is world-class facilities with world-class youth football and world-class coaches. And it weren't to become no job there or nothing. It was purely just to see it, you know. But for me, it would have been cool, you know, paying for man's training ticket, taking me to your world-class facilities, seeing stuff, liaising with people. It helps. And I feel that's one thing. Like, I might not be where I want, but I feel I might not be where I want to be, and I might not be the most viewed, but I feel with what I'm doing and what I want to do, I'm building the right foundation. So it's a start as I mean to go on, man. But it is what it is. Like I said, man, it's either this or to the grave. And when I say this, I mean working football in some capacity. You know, I would love the YouTube to provide an income for me where I can, you know, just talk. I mean, before income, I would love to be here on YouTube just talking about football. Of course, I would love it to develop an income for myself. What sort of man would rather go to work than, you know, speak to you lot about football? And with that, you know, I'm all about time. You know, if I build my own brand and do my own thing, then I can provide a living for myself, but I can also build my own brand, people. It's that simple. With that, there's more time to do other things. So let's say this YouTube thing hit off and I got to be on TV and I got to be a pundit. Obviously, there's not as much time, but there's time to say, okay, cool, I want to do the scouting thing, or all right, cool, I want to do this, I want to do that. I can't do that from building the next man's job 9 to 5, handling dumb emails. And that's one thing. I just started to get annoyed at work. Like, it got to the point it's really bad, but it's like I just started, like, they'll be talking in meetings and I just think in my head, I just genuinely don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care. Like, you're a nice person, but I don't care what you lot are saying. I don't care what you lot are talking about. I hate the fact that you're going off task with the work thing. You know, and that's another thing. I had to adapt to the work culture because everybody's cool, but I find it hard to deal with, you know, especially with COVID, consistent meetings. Like, you've had one meeting at 10, you have the next one at 11, you have the next one at 1. And then, you know, you're doing barefoot. What's supposed to change? It's like, it's too much meetings, not enough work for me personally. But, you know, I feel I've got to attack this. I definitely feel like there's a weight off my shoulders. I definitely feel happier in this short period of time. And, you know, during the last couple of weeks, but when it was building up to dropping that I'm leaving, I'm sure those of you that listen to music, there's a Pot of Paper song called Filthy Free. And that song just used to slap with me. And I used to play it every morning. And just think, yo, I've got to do this. Like, I'm not filthy rich, but I'm free, fam. Like, I can be free to do what I want. But, You'll have to see, man. It's just about progressing. It's just about getting better. That's all I want to do, man. I always loved improving. I've got an infectious personality. When I like something, I want to improve, and that's it for me. I told you, I want to be undeniable. I'm seeing other people get Sky Sports opportunities and their own shows and all of these things. And it makes me feel like I'm not a sour thing, but it can happen for me if I apply myself. And one thing I've learned not to listen to is just words, you know. A lot of content creators in particular, they just chat for the sake of chatting. Like, you know, there's certain YouTubers that said I was getting my own show on their thing, not getting it. You know, let's collab. And I'm probably doing that to people as well. So I don't make it like I'm perfect. It's the game, innit? It's all levels. That's why it's all love. You know, when I get an ignore or someone airs it, it's all love. It's no feelings. You know, make sure you don't, if the tables ever flip, make sure you don't ask me for nothing. Cause I'm the sort of guy, I'm a nice guy, bygones can be bygones, but I'm all for meeting people with same energy. There's been people in my short time on YouTube, I reached out when I was first starting. Every excuse dogged me out. They see I'm getting somewhere. I don't even remember it's the same person. I've actually said, do you remember me? Like, no, I don't. Got talking. I was like, yeah, I'll shout you. F off, I'm not shouting you. Or no, you know. It is what it is. If it's beneficial to me, then I'll flip the script and whatnot. But I'm a big fan of doing people how they do you. I'm on this 50 Cent thing when it comes to being childish. But like I said, in short, people, you know, you've got to stop ignoring the voice in your head. That's one thing. Whatever your dream is, stop ignoring the... And I'm not preaching, Carl. My dream is not hearing it. Like, I'm living a nightmare. If you lot knew the amount of things I'm still going through and going through, you would look at me differently. But I'd say don't ignore the voice. Go for what you want. And for me, it was just... I just had to remember, like, if the world ends tomorrow, am I happy? This company don't give a crap about me, you know. With Corona, you're seeing jobs cut and whatnot. So it's like, why am I going to be here? Like, I could be committed to no one's cause but mine. Like, when the script always all flips, it's me that's going to be on the chopping block. And I got to see that already, you know. You know, they'll tell you, you know, it was weird because I feel with my old company, I feel they sort of accidentally found out I done YouTube, and then I was sort of quiet and shy about it because I don't really want to mix the two in the workplace. But it's like they would support it unprovoked, say, yeah. Because without talking too tough, where Brian and True Geordie do the True Geordie thing, at first, you know, we was co-using it. So he was saying, well, the company, not me, but my company was saying, oh, DG, go over there and do that. You know, my boss would say, people, deluded and all that foolishness, and carry on and say, oh, we can do this, you should do that, I could do this. Just bare things, unprovoked, people. And when it came down to it, didn't follow through. Like, for me, you know, Brian's a cool brother, you know. Hopefully I can get on it. But Brian was like, first time I chatting to Brian was chatting to me, literally, first real conversation, like, because I've chatted to him before, but first real conversation, like, it's just me and him chatting, innit, sort of thing. He was like, yeah, they told me he did YouTube in his Newcastle Tyneside accent. It's like, they told me he did YouTube, why didn't you say, bro? Like, he was getting vexed. He's like, why didn't you say, bro? You know, let me retweet. You think he retweeted it, he did this. He's like, come on, the kickoff. Now, the kickoff was Arsenal versus United. I've told you lot before. In my head, people, I'm thinking, yo, it's feeling like Disney Channel, like a movie. Like, man's finally gonna come up. You know, he's got a big brand with 1 million people. You know, the Premier League YouTubers are trying to shine a light on, man. You know, he's a cool brother. I'm like, yo, I'm ready. On the day now comes, because remember, this is weekdays. So weekdays, sometimes I used to, my shifts used to get changed. Like, if kickoff was on and working late, I'd start later and then come in earlier and just chop and change it and do things like that, people. But it was a day, like, sometimes I would start in the office and then in the evening go to where they're doing the True Geordie thing. So this is one day like that. I'm in the office, in my head I'm like, yo, boom, blast, I'm going on this thing. The owner of the company / manager or whatever pulls me out. He gives me every excuse under the sun as to why I can't do that. He doesn't think the time's right, blah, blah, blah. That already immediately told me everything I needed to know. You know, when it came down to it, you was chatting, but when it came down to it to do this thing, you didn't want it. So, and that's cool. You're not committed to my cause, which is cool. You know, you want to water my thing down. So with that, that was another thing. And that was months ago. That was last season, Arsenal versus United at Old Trafford. That's when I quit mentally as well. There's many points as to why I quitted. But I feel freer, people, and yeah, man, I feel I've covered everything. Like I said, there'll be more deluded thoughts when I have something to speak about, but I know I've been delaying with this, so I'm back now, people. But on that note, DG.